there's something special about HebCelt for everybody, even people who aren't from here. They come up every year. I've got an uncle who comes up from Glasgow every year. There's just something about it that's just incredible.
Oh, it's totally unique. You can't compare it. It's brilliant. Stornoway's just got an amazing atmosphere about it this week. I'm sure everyone's saying the same.
Coming here is just something else. I mean, the setting is amazing. I'd seen photos and I'd read about it, but once you come here, you actually, getting to experience it yourself is quite amazing.
I think the whole island is behind the festival in such a powerful way that those 3 days of the festival every year, it's just a really special experience.
It's like having Christmas and New Year twice in the year. It's kind of a ritual, just standing outside and chatting with people you haven't seen for 10 years and popping in and out of the tents, enjoying the music and the atmosphere. I think it's like Calmac though, like you have to go. You can't not be part of the festival and you can't not get a Calmac ferry. It's kind of the same thing in a way to me.
A colleague and I worked in an office together. Clearly we weren't that busy and thought of, well, why don't we do a festival here? And we didn't know each other well enough to back down, so we kept the idea going. Celtic connections have been going for 2 years, and I suppose the idea came from that, a Celtic festival.
For me, HebCelt's always existed. I was brought up in the festival. My dad came on board very, very early and was one of the directors. So literally every summer I was out here. So I've seen the festival grow as I've grown up, which has been pretty special.
It's diversified a wee bit over the years, and we call it HebCelt now, which allows us to push the boundaries a bit of what we actually do and what we actually programme to continue to appeal to new audiences as well as to our core audience.
Being a Gaelic singer myself, I think that HebCelt has contributed a lot to keeping the Gaelic language alive, and I wouldn't have been given that platform had it not been for HebCelt.
The HebCelt Festival is the top of the tree of the festival scenes here in Scotland in our kind of music.
Not least because of the chance they give to younger people who are involved in traditional music and are learning traditional music. Gives them an opportunity to see traditional music presented to a high degree and on a grand scale.
To take visiting culture up to rural communities, it's good for the locals. It's also good for local business to kind of ride on the success of the festival across the weekend, but it's great for musicians too. Festivals like HebCelt help keep folk music alive and well.
Come all you lads of high renown, just to hear of a fair young maiden, and as she roved out on a summer's day, just to view the soldiers parading. They marched so bold and they looked so gay, the banners fly and the bands that play, and it caused young Mary for to say, I'll wed you, me gallant soldier. Oh, she viewed the soldiers on parade, and as they stood at their leisure, and Mary to herself did say, at last I found my treasure. But oh, how cruel my parents must be to banish my darling so far from me. And I'll leave them all and I'll go with thee, me bold undaunted soldier. Oh, Mary dear, your parents' love, I pray don't be unruly, for when you're in a foreign land, believe you rue it surely. Perhaps in battle I might fall from the shore of an angry cannonball. You're so far from your father's hall, be advised by a gallant soldier.
I used to come here as a little girl with my dad. He used to do security here, and there's actually a nice memory. He once told me when all the lights had gone out and everything was closed down, and he took me onto the backstage just as a wee girl, and he said, one day Jane, you'll get to play on the main stage. And I didn't believe him at the time, but that's now my second or third time playing, and you still get the same buzz afterwards. I just wish he was here to see it.
It's been great to see some of the bands that have played years back, like Face the West have just come off stage just now. I remember when they first played, and here they are sort of 10 years since they were last playing as a group. It's great to see these local artists also up on the main stage. It's fab.
When I lived in Glasgow, it sort of passed me by a little bit, but when I came home, I was dying to get a gig at it because I realised how important it was to the musical community in the island. And Astrid did a show a couple of years ago on the main stage, and we'd never played here before when it started, so it was a big deal for us too. It's a wee feather in your cap if you're a musician up here, absolutely.
It was always one of those kind of things that you never really thought yourself you would get to that stage, and thankfully I feel very privileged and proud to grace the stage a few times now, and it really is one of the best festivals and atmospheres. We were very fortunate to get to travel the world and get to play in some of the most loveliest settings and stages, but coming to Lewis and getting to stand on that stage is a real highlight in the band's career.
being on that stage, walking out onto that stage from the start of your set to the end, the crowd are just electric. They'll sing with you, they'll dance with you, and they'll support you every year. And that's the best thing about HebCelt, is the fans come back year in, year out.
For me personally, it means a lot to perform at HebCelt because I'm from the Isle of Lewis and I've been going to the festival since I was a wee toot, and to see artists coming from all over the world and performing on the stage was always amazing to me. So the fact that I get to go and share that stage with these artists is a huge honour, and it gives me a real sense of pride.
The crowd are obviously pretty important, and any time we come and play in Lewis, the crowd are really supportive, and they're on your side, which is helpful. You don't really have to win them over. You just go in and they're up for a good night.
You've got this big progression through the day of quite a chilled atmosphere in the afternoon, which we've certainly done our fair share of, and then sort of progressively gets on a little bit more mental and a little bit more full on, which I think the bands that are playing late night are probably quite looking for that as well. And then certainly the audience members, we find they're pretty up for it.
I'm always so proud that HebCelt keeps Gaelic song and culture at the heart of the festival, whilst at the same time being outward looking and always just, I think, right on the button with their programming.
I don't want half-hearted love affairs. I need someone who really cares. Life is too short to play silly games. I promise myself I won't do that again. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be worth it. Too many people take second best. I won't take anything less. It's got to be. Such mistakes, they're much too eager to give their love away. Well, I have been foolish too many times. Now I'm determined, I'm gonna get it right. It's got to be it's got to be, yeah, yeah, perfect. Come on, I think Steve Hamill's gonna take a wee solo. Turn him up.
We have volunteers from all over the world. People come from America, Canada, Australia. They also come locally, but we also get a lot of people from Europe, a lot of European volunteers.
There's a very, very small core team who work on it throughout the year, but then everybody comes in sort of the week before or the week of the festival and they make it happen.
It's getting stronger and stronger, and the commitment of the volunteers of turning up and being involved in this, you can just see how it is just become a big family. So yeah, I can see it going on for another 25 years.
Show me Harry, me and below, me love Maria, lead me to my solitude and let me want the free to climb the Rocky Mountain and set the glen below for a fine 10-pointer or a royal low. Oh, show me Harry, me and below, me love Maria, lead me to my solitude and let me want the free to climb the Rocky Mountain and set the glen below for a fine 10-pointer or a royal low. Oh, show me Harry, me and below, me love Maria, lead me to my solitude and let me want the free to climb the Rocky Mountain and set the glen below.
I'm so looking forward to playing HebCelt in 2021, and fingers crossed that will happen successfully. And I just have a gut feeling that when we are allowed to play music again together and to play to audiences, to festival audiences in particular, I just have a feeling it's going to be a really, really joyous experience.
The musicians, we're going nowhere. We're not going to lose our trade, we're not going to lose our skills, we're not going to lose our talents, we're going to be there. As long as people want to listen to live music, we're there ready to play and perform for you. And hopefully everyone will keep showing the support that they are right now, and we'll get back on stage and just have some great nights.
It's events like HebCelt that will come roaring out the gate and remind us all of what we've been missing when live music comes back with a bang.
the signing tent with CDs after this. We've got 2 minutes left. Hands up, make some noise, come on! Here we go!